That I loved about this film was I just loved how our director and Carol, they were very intentional about showing true black skin, black beauty. They didn't want a bunch of packed on stuff, or if it had to be packed on, they didn't want it to look like it was packed on, you know? So just had a beautiful glow to them, I'll say. So look out for the glow.
I know Carol mentioned like the reds.
Oh my goodness.
Like mixing a whole bunch of different reds to make sure like each character didn't have on the same red lip. Like, oh, that's Ruby Woo.
Yeah, exactly.
We all hope that people take away from this new version, this fly version of The Color Purple.
I really hope that people really feel like, wow, like I can relate, and you know, us as black women, like we are flawed, but we are still amazing, and you know, we don't have to be perfect to be accepted, and I just think, and it's okay to, you know, go through your emotions, and it's just like, it's okay, like you're living.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready?
Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, on today's episode, this is a very special episode as well because we are live. The Friends in Beauty podcast is live at Bus Boys and Poets in Columbia. Are we live? Yes, I got a live audience with me today. And I'm super duper excited because I have the pleasure of having Ngozi Olandu Young on the Friends of Beauty podcast. So Andazi is an Emmy nominated and award-winning makeup artist and entrepreneur. She has been blessed to work on projects like HBO's Watchmen. I used to watch that show too. That's fire. I used to watch that. The Wire. We all know The Wire. House of Cards, Step Up 2, to name a few. And We Own This City, where she won the first ever NAACP Award for Best Makeup. She recently served as the key makeup artist for the new adaptation of the musical film The Color Purple that is coming out in theaters on Christmas Day. So please help me welcome Ngozi Olandu Young to the Friends of Beauty guest chair. Hey, Ngozi.
I'm about to start crying.
Don't cry. Don't do it.
No, really.
We don't have tissue.
We don't have tissue. No, but you have, I mean, this is, okay, y'all have to understand. I met her almost, I would say, look, my daughter's 7. I remember being pregnant.
You were very pregnant.
8 years ago, through a mastermind group, a beauty mastermind group.
Yes.
And to be able to witness what she has put together.
Aww.
It's just, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so
Seriously,
much. Please don't cry.
You're doing so much more than makeup.
Aww.
And it is truly your calling. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It has been forever.
We need you.
Thank
We
you
do.
so much. That really means a lot. Okay, we stop her, y'all, so she won't cry. Okay. We're going to get into some icebreakers first, but welcome to the Friends of Beauty guest chair. I'm so excited to have you. So excited to talk about everything that you've been doing and catch up and all the things. Before we start, we're going to start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you outside of beauty.
Okay.
So just like Maud, just give us 3 random facts about you.
3 random facts. I'm going to copy off of Maud for this, and I'm Nigerian.
Yes. Shout out to
we
the
have the
Africans.
best gel off. Let's see. I'm the oldest of 5. What else? And I love musicals. Like The Sound of Music. It's very corny, very cheesy, but I love me a good musical. I think those are the 3.
Okay, I love it. So my brother-in-law is from Senegal, and I think he would argue with both of y'all and say Senegal, like Jollof originated in Senegal, and they got the best. I'm just saying. I know he would say that if he was here. Okay, so when is the last time you did something for the first time?
The last time I did something for the first time. Oh, yesterday. I had a camera test that was happening, and I literally walked in. We have no kit, no nothing, and the person in charge at the time decided they wanted to do a nose ring, and we didn't have any nose rings, so I just took my key ring and we snipped it off and made it a nose ring.
Okay.
That is thinking on your feet.
You got to be innovative in this industry.
right.
When they say they want something, you got to make it happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you weren't a makeup artist, is there anything else you could see yourself doing right now?
I'd be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always been very fashionable. Even when you were pregnant, like she was slaying the pregnancy, okay?
So sweet.
And look at her. Like, come on. I can see that.
Listen, I love fashion.
I love it. I could totally see that for you. So one thing I want to say is when I saw that the movie was coming out, I think I went through the IMDb thing and saw your name. I don't think I saw it on Instagram. I think I scrolled through and I was like, what? Oh my God. Okay, so this is totally, my wheels started turning. I was like, okay, I got to ask her to do the Friends of Beauty podcast. I'm going to do a whole live event. It's lit. She's in Baltimore. Because anytime I tell somebody, like, The Color Purple's coming out and the key makeup artist is in Baltimore, they're like, what? Like, she lives here? Like, that's incredible. And a lot of people did not know that. So it was just too good to be true. And actually, yesterday, I had the chance to see an early release of the movie, y'all. And it just happened that way. It was not planned. I was like, this is perfect because I could see the movie, then I could go and talk to Gozi the next day about it. So perfect. So what do you think that this revamp is going to mean for the culture?
Ooh, I think it is refreshing for the culture, just because, honestly, when Carol, our department head, called me and asked me to come on, I was a little hesitant. I remember talking to my husband like, this is heavy, like they trying to remake The Color Purple? Like what? You know, I didn't know how they were gonna do it. I just didn't want that pressure as an artist at the time. I was just like, oh my goodness. And my husband's like, what's wrong with you? Like, this is The Color Purple. Like, you gotta say yes.
Period.
So I think that it is truly refreshing. It is a fresh take on it. It speaks to everyone from, you know, someone who's very young to, you know, an older person.
Yeah.
It is magical. It is truly, I mean, our director Blitz really outdid himself, and the entire team.
Yeah.
I mean, makeup, hair, wardrobe, sound, it is impeccable.
It is so good, y'all. And I have to be honest, I did not realize that it was like based off of the musical, not like the original movie, but it's based off of the play.
Yeah, it's like the merging of both of them. Yeah,
And I loved it because as soon as they started singing, I said, uh-oh. I looked over at my friend because my friend don't like musicals. I said, uh-oh. He about to walk out the theater because it's a musical, but it's like really incredible. And I could definitely speak to just like the characters. I told my friend, I took a few of my friends with me last night, and I told them, I think it's going to be so good for the culture because of the actors that they have in here are people that we recognize, and I'm able to even, I don't know if it's because I'm older now watching The Color Purple, but I'm able to actually see the characters for like who they are, like individually, and like, oh, I know somebody like Celie, unfortunately, but I know people like Miss Sophia. I totally understand Suge Avery now.
Yes.
Like just seeing the way she's portrayed in the movie. So I think that for the culture, it's just gonna, it's like the revamp is just gonna be so good for us, like for the younger generation to understand it.
It's so funny you say that because I also love, like you said, like my kids. I was a cool mom on The Color Purple. First, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be working with this person. You know, I'm thinking of my older. My kids were like, oh, her is there. Like they know that they can recognize people in their generation.
Right.
And we have people in our generation who are there as well. So you're right, it's a great mix.
Yeah. So I did have a conversation, y'all, that's gonna air as well with the makeup department head of The Color Purple, Carol Rashid. So her episode would drop after Gozi's, but she told me how she got the gig. How did you get the gig for? You told me she called, but how did that how did that happen?
That is a good question. One thing, and a majority of us are makeup artists in this room, so I'm gonna be real with y'all. I met Carol working as an additional. We were both additionals working down in Atlanta. And you never know who is watching you.
Never know.
And you work in an additional world, you're just thinking, oh, I'm an additional, I don't feel like doing this, it doesn't really matter what I do. You know, that's sometimes the mentality, but their department heads down there, there are other keys down there, they're looking to hire their next team member. You know, so it's like, I didn't know, you know, I knew who Carol was, but I wasn't looking for anything. I was looking for a job. I was just being me. You know, I'm like, if somebody needed help, I'm doing help. If somebody needed this, I'm just a team player. And we kind of stayed in contact. We had a lot of deep conversations. And I just noticed the type of person she was, and I was like, you know, she's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's
Like
so
I'm gonna keep her close.
Yeah.
She's very cool, and she had a great balance of not just being a makeup artist, but the business side and the family side. Like she just was the complete package. So when she called, like, hey, you know, for some reason you came up, and I had worked with her maybe, I would say 11 years ago.
Okay.
So, and she hadn't called me for other jobs. So the fact she's calling me for the color purple,
Right.
I was like, what? You know, and it blew me out. I just was like, oh my gosh, like I'm honored, but
Yeah.
I'm also crazy scared,
Yeah.
you know, but that's how it worked out. She gave me a call and asked me if I would be a part of her team.
That, like Maud said, like your name is in rooms that your feet haven't even touched. Like that is just so true, and just a testament to like just good work, being a good person. You know, keeping in contact, letting people see you every now and then you just never know what could happen.
Yep.
That's incredible. So one thing I did learn from Carol too is about the business side of being a makeup department head and just all that goes into it. I had no clue. But as a key makeup artist, like what exactly is your role? Because I don't like TV and film is not like my primary thing. I just do it whenever people call. But like, what exactly are you doing as a key makeup artist?
Woo. What are you not doing as a key makeup artist? I'll say this. I became a better key after I became a mother of 3.
Okay.
Because you're literally doing everything. You're doing from well, okay, I'll start here. It depends on your department head. There are some department heads that are all hands-on. They just want you to do this one person, execute the makeup, and that's it. And I'll give you all a little piece of advice. If you're interviewing for a key position, or if you are working with a department head you've never worked with before, just, you know, I love to ask, like, what do you like? You know, do you want me to book the additionals, or do you want me to do the calendar or the budget or whatever? For instance, I've had jobs that I've done nothing but administrative work and have done no makeup at all.
Really? As a key?
As a key.
Okay.
Sometimes it's about the makeup and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's about being a therapist, like, you know, what you all touched on earlier. It's like you are literally there to keep the peace. It may be between the actors, it may be between, you know, your coworkers. It is such a layered position. I'm telling you, being a key is not for the weak at all.
Wow.
Literally, you got to be a people person. You got to be organized. You got to know how to, you know, talk and do business and ordering things from other companies. It is a real position.
Yeah.
It is.
This is random. Are you working out of your own personal kit when you're on set, or did they order like supplies for you?
It's a mixture. So I have
Okay.
my personal kit that I have a rental fee for, and then at the same time, depending on, you know, what the job is, they may have to order certain things, whether it's blood or, like for instance, when I did a movie called Game Change, I was in charge of Woody Harrelson's makeup. He could only do vegan stuff. I had a few vegan things,
Right.
but I had to order everything. Like, he didn't even want a polyester cloth touching him for sweat.
Wow.
I mean, it was serious. He wanted
Okay.
all organic things. So it's something like that. Depending on the budget, you're able to order things that the actor needs.
Yeah. And speaking of just the behind the scenes thing, one thing I did want to ask you too is just as a makeup artist, how do you personally contribute to the energy of the actor before they go out on set?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, because I feel like that is our foundation as makeup artists. We literally can make or break an actor's day. They start with us, and sometimes they end with us when we take off the makeup or the, you know, facial hair pieces or
Yeah.
hair pieces or whatever. So I really try to, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a good energy reader.
Okay.
And I'm like, my husband tell me, I'll be like, I ain't feeling that one. Or, oh yeah, that's a good, you know, I'm sorry, I'm judgmental, I'm a Virgo.
Maud's a Virgo too.
Really?
She is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that explains the jell-off beef. So, you know, but yeah, it is. I really try to set the tone for the actor and make sure that not only am I creating a safe space for them to feel like, you know, they can go on with their day, and I'm, you know, giving them nothing. It's literally an energy exchange. I'm giving them positive energy, whether it's, if an actor comes in, if I feel like, ooh, they had a rough night or they're not talking, I won't talk to them, but I do think, you know, I pray over them, I say great things. They don't know this, but I know that's my superpower, just to try to push them forward. Again, it's bigger than the makeup.
Yeah.
So I know that's what I bring to the table, just to set the tone for them.
For sure. I love that. Somebody's always praying for you. Believe that.
Yeah. Whether you know it or not.
Whether you know it or not, that's beautiful. What was the culture or the vibe on this set? Because just seeing the movie, I can't wait for y'all to see it. But what was the culture or the vibe?
It was like a family reunion with people you never met before.
Okay.
It is so weird and so wild. Like there are people, I love working in Atlanta because working across the country in other states and cities, it's not as diverse. You may not see as many black folks. But I remember when my first big movie in Atlanta was Bessie, and I remember I looked to my left, the director was black, the camera operator was black. I'm like, oh my goodness, like where am I? Like this is amazing.
Yeah.
So doing The Color Purple, although it was a diverse crew, everyone was not of color, but we just knew that we were here for a bigger purpose with The Color Purple, and it was just a great, well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a serious question for you. You trust me, right? Yes? I heard you say yes, right? You heard them say yes, right? Okay, listen. If you said yes and you have a product or service-based business that you want to expose to a loyal and engaged audience, then consider letting me share your business here on the Friends of Beauty podcast. Studies have shown that podcast listeners tend to trust the host, making the advertising messages more authentic and credible. And my favorite part, which a lot of people don't know, is the longevity. Unlike traditional ads that have a limited lifespan and disappear after your budget has been exhausted, my podcast episodes are available indefinitely. This means that your ad will continue to reach new listeners long after the initial episode airs. And you already know my consistency is off the chain. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And as the Friends of Beauty podcast continues to grow, your brand will continue to reach a new audience. That's how it works here. So don't wait any longer. I want to expose your brand to my Friends in Beauty. All you have to do is click the link below with all of the details and we can make it happen. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the episode.
It was an amazing time, and I made some great friends and relationships out of that show, out of that movie.
Are these like on closed sets or location?
Good question. The first 2 months of shooting, he's laughing because the first 2 months of shooting were on location.
Okay.
We shot in Jekyll Island. We were in Savannah. I was driving through. It was some crazy moments. I'm like, where are we? And I'm not.
Was it
from
like a
the
Get
South.
Out moment? Like,
Honey,
where am I?
I was feeling like some places like Get Out. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not coming to, yes, they made sure we were all safe and everything, of course, but it was some weird locations that I'd never been to because I'm not from the South at all. But they were beautiful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, what is that? Like, I'm a city girl. I'm like, what the, like, where are we? But it was beautiful.
Yeah, because anytime I'm watching movies, I'm always like, okay, so this is a big open field. Where are the trailers? Like, where are they actually set? Are you standing behind the cameras? Are you in the trailer? Like, I'm always just like watching everything.
Yes, they're yonder.
They're yonder. Okay. So in this film in particular, in The Color Purple, hope y'all love y'all books. But in The Color Purple, who did you work? Did you work on a specific actress in general?
I did. I mainly did Danielle Brooks, who played Sophia.
Okay.
I did, a lot of other day players that came in, but she was my person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for The Color Purple, how do you prepare for character makeup? I know when I have regular clients, I'm like, girl, send me a picture of what you want so I can make sure you ain't asking for no cut crease with glitter and all that stuff. So like, but when it's a character, as a makeup artist, how do you prepare for that role and the type of makeup that you're going to do?
Yes, you always start with, with the good thing about The Color Purple, yes, we've seen The Color Purple, the movie, and things like that in the play, but it's a collaboration. So Danielle and I, we would really collaborate day to day on each look. Like, hey, I'm thinking this, what do you think? Or if she's like, hey, go ahead, do you? I'm good, go ahead. So it was definitely a collaboration that we did.
Yeah. Is there any beauty elements that we should be looking out for or keep our eyes on that was like intentional for the movie?
Let's see, any beauty?
But do each character have like their own thing? I don't know.
I would say this, when I saw, one thing that I loved about this film was I just loved how our director and Carol, they were very intentional about showing true black skin, black beauty. They didn't want a bunch of packed on stuff, or if it had to be packed on, they didn't want it to look like it was packed on, you know? So, they just had a beautiful glow to them, I'll say. So look out for the glow.
The glow, and I had to say, like, Suge's makeup was very, like, pretty and just glamorous for that time, you know, very classic.
Yep.
I know Carol mentioned like the reds.
Oh my goodness.
Like
yes.
mixing a whole bunch of different reds to
Yes.
make sure like each character didn't have on the same red lip.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's Ruby Woo.
Yeah, exactly.
They all got on Ruby Woo.
And,
Like,
and you know, Carol was very intentional about that, and she actually has a lipstick line that she launched, CarolRashidBeauty.com. Yes. I mean, they're period lipsticks and for classic everyday lipsticks, and they are awesome to have in your kit because they're for every skin tone.
Yeah.
So it just takes the guessing out of it. Like, ooh, that's gonna turn this on this. I mean, she just knocked it out the park with the reds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that was like time consuming or difficult makeup wise that you all had to do?
I would say, ooh, what was the most time consuming? I don't think that it was anything that was really time consuming, but I would say it was very tough some days when we would have to age our characters and then de-age them
In
and
the
then have
same
to
day?
age them again sometimes depending, because it's all about the location sometimes and the actors' availability and things like that. So sometimes we'd be like, okay, wait a minute, like we got to do this and then do that. I mean, that was very rare, but that would be the most difficult, I would say that it was. I mean, it wasn't an easy film to do. It was very emotional, fast moving. We had, I'm sorry, no, let me go back. Yes, there were, our background artists were so amazing because we had dancers that were tattooed up, piercings, gauges, off the hook, and we had to cover them up to fit the period from 1918
Yeah.
to I mean it was, it is hot as I don't know what outside, humid. So we're using all types of products that'll keep on, won't sweat off as they're dancing, and they have on tribal gear and jewelry, and it is off the hook. That was the most challenging.
That's what kind of products were y'all using for tattoo cup? Because like, I would imagine they're sweating, they're probably touching each other.
Yeah, we
for it not to
had,
wear
I cannot
off.
remember the exact name of it, but it was a label that Carol had a contact with. I know we did a few mixtures of definitely a lot of alcohol-based things that won't move because it has the cover tattoos, and we would be shooting for 12 to 18, 21-hour days, whatever. So yeah, it was definitely alcohol-based products. So
Yeah, because ain't nobody have a full sleeve in the 1900s.
Hello.
The early 1900s
Hello.
or gauges.
Exactly.
So that would be like, they didn't do their work. They didn't do their background work.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah. Are there any characters in The Color Purple that you feel like you can personally understand their stories, like relate to?
I would say a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of, I can empathize with Celi's character, Danielle's, even I said Celi's character, Fantasia's character, Danielle's, and even with Taraji, all of them. I would say I could see a piece of. I feel like, and that's the beauty in it. If you're really true with yourself, you can see a little bit of like, oh, like I can relate, or I can see how they act this way, or so yeah, I would say all of them.
Yeah, I could say the same thing too. And like I said, just if I can relate to all of them, I know people like that.
Yes.
And I tried to watch the Color Purple, like the original one, but like I said, it's just something about seeing people that you know already, like Taraji as Suge Avery. At first, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, really, Taraji? But she killed it. Danielle
powerhouse.
killed it as Miss Sophia.
Let me tell you,
Like-
I can't wait till you all see it, but Danielle, and it's not because I worked on her. We would be on set and I would be welling up, tearing up at some of her scenes.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
So convincing.
So convincing.
It's like everybody in the film, like you don't look at them and be like, oh, Oprah did it this way, or what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg plays Celie like this. It's like you just see them for who they are.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And as a makeup artist, this is another layer I wanted to talk with you all about earlier when I was talking about how it's more than makeup, because when you see someone put that much heart and soul, you want to go even harder for them. So I found myself, I'm trying to advocate for Danielle with things like, all right, what you need? No, all right, that's enough. Like, what, like mama bears that are coming out because you see someone putting their heart and soul in it, so you want to protect that.
Yeah. What do you hope that people take away from this new version, this fly version of The Color Purple?
I really hope that people really feel like, wow, like I can relate, and us as Black women, like we are flawed, but we are still amazing, and we don't have to be perfect to be accepted, and I just think, and it's okay to go through your emotions, and it's just like, it's okay, like you're living, it's life. I hope everybody takes that away.
Yeah, you know, one thing that I really loved about it too, sorry y'all, but so I love when I watch movies, I always wait until the end to see people's names in the credits. I saw Gozi's name in the credits. I was so tickled. But I also saw somebody else's name as a dancer that I had no clue was in the movie. And as soon as I saw her name, I was like, oh, I was just texting her the other day, literally like 2 days ago we were texting. So I texted her like, girl, I just saw your name in the credits. And when I left out of the theater, there were other people, I just overheard conversations of like, yeah, we saw her name in the credits, or so it's like other people who are having like the same experiences as we're having with their family members and their friends, like being a part of a project like this.
Yes.
So like for the culture, it's great, but like just for us to see our friends, our family, our peers, that type of thing in something so historical.
You're so right.
Like everybody was having like the same feeling, and it was the best.
You're so right.
It was
I
the
love
best.
that layer of it. You're right. Yeah, just your community and different facets of like, oh, wait a minute. Like, oh, you like, okay.
So
Yeah.
dope. And I even told my best friend, I was like, girl, you need to be up in here. Ain't nothing to be a part of the ensemble, because she sings. I'm like,
Oh,
you
wow.
could go ahead and try to audition for stuff like this, and you
Yeah.
could be in the color purple.
Come on,
too.
agent. Come on, agent.
We gonna make it happen.
Go ahead.
Like, I know this gonna be a model. We about to do the whole thing.
Come on. I
Yeah.
love it. Yes.
So why did you choose TV and film as opposed to the other avenues you can go as a makeup artist?
You know, it's so funny. I always say that TV and film chose me because I was working at the makeup counter at Nordstrom, and I was very unhappy. Because
Anybody else work at the counter?
hello, my counter people. But I didn't see at the time that was the best way for me to deal with so many different types of people, because you don't know who's walking up to you,
Yeah.
and each day is different ages, different sexes, different races, so I'm grateful for it today. But at the time, I'm like, I don't feel like being here, like they want me to sell. And I was working with an older couple. I mean, they were literally maybe, I'm not going to say the ages, but they were like over 80 even. They were very,
okay.
So I was with them
Very
for
seasoned.
3 hours. Very seasoned, yes. I was with them for 3 hours, and I remember I had not made my goal for the day. I literally had an hour. So look, you're like, right, like, right.
The horror.
I literally had an hour left of work, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like God, like why? Like they're just buying a lipstick, a $14 lipstick at the time, and I've been with them for 3 hours. So there was a woman who, I'm like, oh, someone can be right with you. She's like, no, I want to wait for you. She waited for me for hours.
Wow.
And that was Debbie Young, who's now my mother-in-law. Waited for me. She bought
I love
literally
that.
$2,000 worth of makeup. I made my goal for the week.
Wow.
And I was just so
And then
like,
she had a son.
I mean, yeah. You're so funny.
A handsome son.
I knew him before that, but anyway. So she bought, and I'm like, what do you do for a living? And she's like, I'm a makeup artist for film and TV. I was like, what? Like you can be a makeup artist and be a grown woman, and I was just like, wait a minute. Like I never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So. And come to find out, she's like, I'm from Baltimore, and I'm like, and you still live here? Like, I'm like, what? Like, it was not computing. I had never knew that I could do makeup for the rest of my life. I was literally just doing it just to pay the bills and get through college. I hated makeup, actually. People who came to me only came to me because I did natural makeup. I would just enhance what you already have. I wasn't transforming looks and all that stuff. So anyway, I always say film and TV chose me because she literally was like, look, if you want to do this, take these books down, keep in contact with me. And I did that.
Yeah. Okay, so now I gotta know. So did she just say like, my son is single? Like, I think y'all would be great together. Like, I need to know.
Look, my girl with the tea. So, he said, give me the tea. So, she had been mentoring me for about a year. I had seen her speak at different things. And I called her one day, and she's like, oh, I'm on another line with my son. And when she clicked back over to talk with him, she's like, oh, yeah, that was one of my makeup girls. And he's like, ooh, how old is she? Being fresh. And I said, and she's like, Gozi is. He's like, Gozi, I know her. We had mutual friends in high school. He was dating someone else, but we had mutual friends in high school, and we actually lived in the same neighborhood. So we would, catch the bus and just high and by, nothing, romantic or anything like that. And even when we linked back up, it was, friendship. Just like, hey, how you doing? I was not trying to, be a scammer and go after her son at all. It was not that cup of tea at all. But yeah.
I just had to, because they wanted to know. I heard them.
Yeah, sure.
I felt,
sure.
I wanted to know, right? I felt it, so I had to
Sure.
ask. Well,
So
back to the
funny.
serious stuff. There are a lot of people who ask me sometimes, like, how do I get into TV and film? Like, how do I, like you said, it chose you, but for people who want to be intentional about it, like, what are some ways that they can get into TV and film?
Well, I'll say this. Back in the day when I first started, ways that I would, because, Miss Deb, she can hire me on things. I was non-union. She's away working and doing, big things. So I would literally reach out to universities and, my friends who were in school and be like, look, y'all need something filmed? I want to do makeup. Y'all doing a horror film? I'll supply the blood. I'm like, we were all broke artists just trying to collaborate. So your network and things like this where you, put together. Talk to your, I know that you all just met, you know what I mean? Talk to each other and just be like, look, what's going on? What you working on? No matter what, everybody's filming, doing, creating something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I know a lot of people don't like to work for free for now, but I did a lot of free stuff. I did.
Yeah, I did a lot of free stuff
For
too.
film.
And I still do free stuff sometimes,
Yep.
just depending on what the project is and if I resonate with
that's
it.
that's a podcast within itself.
we had to talk about that.
Seriously.
Because what I come in contact with lately with like younger makeup artists, not that you shouldn't get paid, but a lot of them don't want to work for free. I'm like, so you think I pay my dues? Like, you got to pay your dues too.
No, you're right.
A lot of them are like, how much is it? Oh, they're not paying? I ain't trying to do it.
Yeah, you're right. And it's not, and I get it. It's nothing wrong with being for your coins.
Yeah, you gotta get your
I
money.
get it. But I'm like, if you're really trying to make a name for yourself and your reputation, like you said, I still do free stuff. If there is an up and coming artist or somebody's like, look, we don't have a budget, prime example. My wonderful friend who I went to high school with, she's now a big time director. She could barely pay me for her first movie. Can I tell you, when she came back, she had Macro production company behind her, and she made me the department head. I never knew that was going to come out of me working for, I don't even know if it was pennies at the time for her first film, but I wasn't doing it because, oh yeah, she gonna hire me one day. I did it because I'm like, I knew she didn't have the money, but the passion was there, and she was so organized. I just saw how she did. I'm like, oh my God, it was amazing. So you got to meet people where they are sometimes, but if not, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it might take a little longer to get where you need to go.
True. Can you talk about like practicing restraint as a TV and film makeup artist? Because it's not the same type of makeup unless that character is like glam. Like you have to practice. Like you're not gonna go there and show them everything, like your whole hand, like all the tricks that you could do with your brushes.
Baby, I'm about to call you Lil Oprah because you are preaching right now. Yeah. That is such a great question. I find that a lot of my and please don't take offense, but my beautiful artists who do a lot of network TV, who may be used to that flawless, beat face, completely airbrushed, perfect skin. It's like when you come in film and TV, you're literally on a big old jumbotron, your work. So that, nice line or that, porcelain skin or whatever you got going on, poreless skin, it's going to look fake on something like that. So you really, depending on unless it is like that character. If you're doing, someone who is, a dancer or whatever in a club, that will fly. But if you're doing a mother of 5 who is working hard and she's, a letter carrier, don't get me wrong, there are some letter carriers, listen, they be beat.
Right, beat down.
Okay? They be having stack lashes and everything, okay? But, but if that's not really who she is, that's why it's really, really, really important that you read your script and you break it down. Again, that's a whole nother podcast, break it down the script and how to do that you really understand the character. You're asking the questions. You're asking, if you are a key makeup artist, you're talking to your department head and the director and even the writers at times, like, how do you want this person to be? Who is this person? And you look at people who are in your family or in your network or even in your communities like, oh, okay, like, oh, that's why her lipstick is crooked, because she was in a car getting dressed because she got off at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Like everything starts to connect and make sense. So I do have to it wasn't hard for me because I came from a natural background. I always had a light hand, but I find that I try not to take offense. I try to tell people not to take offense if I'm like, hey, would you mind taking that down or mixing some moisturizer up in there and powdering it, with no color powder or something just to, make it look like skin again.
Yeah. Do you teach classes?
I do. I do teach. I'm starting to launch some things for next year, but I have the program called the Real Artist Pro. Some of my people are in here today. And, since I've been on the road, it's been a little crazy. We haven't met. It's been a few months. But, I have a network of some amazing women. And, again, I don't know why I get so emotional. I guess because I had been there when I felt like I couldn't do something, or why isn't it working out for me? So for me to be able to work on sets and I see somebody like Asia working beside me because she's in the union now, after she was at the counter.
Congratulations, Asia.
Yes. After she had been in the counter and I remember her being like, she just took the leap. And it's not because of me. It has nothing to do with me. It's just she just believed. No, she just believed and was like, you know what, I could do this. And I mean, and Renee Dyson, I know she's not here. She's another hairstylist who, she was my first person who went overseas. She worked in a movie in Greece. And it was just amazing for me to be able to watch, again, when you think there's no opportunity and there's nothing that you can do, and for her to be like over in Greece doing a film, I'm like, girl, you done beat me. You surpassed me.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like, that's your branches, like, out in the world.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. You're in Greece because she's in Greece.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, I was there with her. I was so happy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Have you ever personally, like, just kind of circling back to what we talked about with Maude, like, have you personally been affected by the lack of diversity and inclusion on set?
I would say not necessarily. Ooh, you know what? There has been, let's say, okay, in the 23 years I've been in this business, I know for a fact that a lot of the department heads I've worked under, they made it very, very clear to hire diverse crew members. So they wanted to make sure it was just about every race kind of reflected from her, from department head down to additional, not down to additionals, but including additionals as well. So everyone felt represented. But I will say there has been a lot of jobs where actors have been like, hey, I want to make sure that we do have a brown or black, makeup artist or someone who does special effects in the trailer as well. And I give my hat off to a lot of the actors who speak up and are like, look, we need some, brown folks here. But at the same time, I will say this, as much as we need to be represented, we need to also make sure that we are able to do everyone as well. So I just want to challenge, especially, because I came from beauty. I was all about beauty and enhancing people. I just want to challenge you all, do your blood and guts. I'm not trying, you don't have to do extreme special effects makeup if that's not your thing, and I get it, but I just want you to at least kind of just be ready, because I've had so many people and so many actors who are like, oh wow, I love the way you do my makeup, but I have to get a bald cap, I have to be a cancer patient, I have to, and they're like, oh, I just been beating her face. And it's like, okay, you have to educate yourself and diversify what you do.
Yeah, incredible. So you mentioned being in Atlanta for this, film, and I'm pretty sure you travel all over the place. How are you, I don't like using balance, but managing, juggling, being a wife, a mom of 3, right? A working makeup artist. How are you able to stay away from home so long? And how are you doing the things?
I'm doing the things through the grace of God, and definitely my support system. Like my mom, my husband, my sisters. I have such an amazing village. My mother-in-law, my non-blood sisters. I've been so blessed to have such an amazing village of people who really want to see me win, and they support me with my kids. I'm home every weekend. I'm praying over FaceTime every night with them. I try not to miss a beat. And honestly, even with the strike being over, it is wrong to say that I had a great time during the strike, because I got my kids just poured into me, and my family, my husband, everyone poured into me so much that, yes, we missed those coins. But, at the same time, I was just like, wow, I'm just so grateful to be home right now. My dad had a horrible fall, and I was able to be at the hospital with him for weeks, and I couldn't have done that. I would have felt so conflicted with like, oh, I'm at work working here, and I would love to be in a hospital with my dad. So I mean, God really just, you know, did everything at the right time. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you first generation here?
I am.
I'm first generation. I want to know how you even got away from being a doctor or lawyer.
Baby.
Like, how that happened?
Let me tell you right now.
We slipped through the cracks.
Listen, even at the daggone Emmys, I'm like, Mom, at the Emmys, the what? Oh, okay, that's cute. You know,
Exactly.
just like it is. You're right. That was and that is why I stayed relentless. And there were so many times I felt like quitting. And I'm like, I remember my why. My why was I wanted to be the Nigerian American that you saw my name on the credits. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
Because I was told so many times I couldn't and I shouldn't. And I didn't move to this country just for you to be coloring. Like, we need something that's absolute. You know, it's like, we need, you know, we want you to really make it in this world. My parents were so fearful, and I don't blame them. Like, they left from where they were to come here to create a better life, and I was the one that was the black sheep.
And you're
of
the
family.
oldest too.
And the oldest. So they're like, oh no, you setting the tone with this crap, this artsy fartsy crap, you know. So, but it wasn't until once they met, you know, my mother-in-law and other people, they're like, oh, these are grown folks in this business, and y'all not starving, you know, you're not, you know, out here begging for money. Like, oh, okay, like it might be okay. But like I said, I took my dad to my first screening. It was probably 11 years ago, and I'm so excited. I'm like, you see my name in the credits? He's like, that's his good. Like, I mean, he's very like, you know, I'm like, okay, like, it's cool.
But he goes brag about it to his friends.
Yeah, probably, right?
'Cause I have an aunt, literally, if I saw her tomorrow, she would be asking me, like, when I'm going to use my degree. I could have just said, I did a bomb live podcast. I got an award this year. Like, I'm doing all the, when you going to use your degree? I'm like, girl, that ship has sailed.
Yes,
Get over it.
Yeah, but that was their safety net. You know what I mean? Now we have so many opportunities and so many things that we can grow and do. Like, we're teaching them.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So true. Oh my God, I don't even want to let you go. Like, you gotta keep on talking. But like at the end of the day, I always ask people like what they want their legacy to be, because like Ma said, it's not just about the individuals. Like what we leave to the world, into the industry. What do you want that to be for you?
I want my legacy to be just an example of you can do it. Honestly, like I said, I know I keep bringing up Asia just because, I mean, we've had so many conversations with her behind the counter, and she's like, you know, at the time, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but just like, you know, her feeling stuck or like I can't, and my legacy would be that I put my people on.
Yes.
That's my legacy.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, put them on.
Yeah.
Anything coming up next for you that you can share that's not top secret?
I'm like, what's coming up next? Nothing really in stone. I'm on a project now. I can't really talk about that, but but yeah, nothing really heavy. I mean, I'm just excited to see what's to come. But yeah, I wish it was something really, really in stone I could talk about, but NDAs and all types of stuff. Sorry.
See, I gotta tell somebody. That's my problem. I'm assigned to NDA, but I'm at least tell either my best friend or my mother, like, because I know they will like not say nothing.
You're so funny.
I'm just saying.
I love
shoot.
it.
Okay, so before I let you go, I have to ask you the Friends of Beauty rapid fire questions. So whatever comes to your mind first, you can spit it out. If you need to elaborate, that's fine. So first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
I would say my relationship with God, definitely. My family, my village. Oof, goodness gracious. I don't know where I'd be without them. I'd be on the street somewhere. And I would say the last thing would be, Look, I'm trying to think of my last thing of success. I would say definitely being able to pour back, and reach back.
I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah. How do you measure your success?
Wow. Look, but it's the same kind of a thing. Not to say the number of people that I put on, because that sounds like egotistical, but I just want to just help as many people as I can, because I really feel like you're here to be a blessing, and you never know, you can open up the door for somebody else and just, you know, keep them going and just keep that positively going.
Okay. What is the best advice you've ever received or a piece of advice that's always stuck with you?
I would say my mother, she always says this. Well, she used to always say growing up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She used to be like, the way you make your bed is the way you lie in it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that is just doesn't make any sense. But I get it now. It hits on so many different points, from, you know, how you treat people to, you know, karma, to your perspective on how you look at life. You know what I mean? It just hits so many different things. I think that's a good piece of advice Mama Mary gave me.
Okay. What advice would you give to another makeup artist right now who's just struggling in their business and they're just ready to give up?
I would ask them first, why do you feel like you need to give up right now? And if they feel like it's bringing them that much anguish and just negativity, I would actually tell them to give up. Because I feel like if it's bringing you that much pain, you need to really take a pause from it, not necessarily give up. But sometimes I felt, me personally, and I'm just going to share this, I felt like I had to take a pause from makeup, a step away. And I find that when I was focusing on building momentum somewhere else, it made me stronger and ready and tougher to go back to do makeup again, especially after having kids. I don't know how many of you all have kids and you're trying to juggle that and film, TV, makeup, bridal, whatever. It is a real deal struggle sometimes, and you do feel like giving up. So there's nothing wrong with taking a pause, but I do feel like, but if it's bringing you that much pain and anguish, maybe you have tried everything, you just need to step away. I don't want to lie to the person and be like, oh, keep going and do this. Like, if it's really hurting you that much, maybe you do need to step away. Seriously.
Yeah, some people pivot.
Yeah.
So it might just be something else waiting for you.
And the great thing is you can always come back. You can always come back. So yeah, like I said, I took my little pause. I love makeup, but that's the thing. Sometimes when you take a break, it'll haunt you. You'd be like, you know what? Oh, I feel like beating the face today. Oh, ooh, let me clean my kit real quick. You know what I mean? You're like, it comes back. It comes back. If it's supposed to be, it will be.
Absolutely. Okay. What is a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
You know, it is a crazy resource that I've started to, and I'm such an introvert, and I stick to my little stick to my little clique a lot. And one thing that I love is, you know, things like this, like what you're doing, Friends in Beauty, but even Facebook groups. Like I tell people all the time, get into those film and TV Facebook groups of a community of people that are building these networks for film and TV makeup artists, they're camera operators, they're people that need us that are on there, and they're shooting things and doing things all the time. So I think that is like sometimes an overlooked resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I met a lot of people on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all in Facebook groups and stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank. Say, my name is blank, Ngozi, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is personally.
My name is Andazi, and the key to longevity and success is, I would say, again, my theme, reaching back.
Reaching back.
Putting people on. Yeah,
I
that's
love
it. That's the key.
Yes, before you go, share your social media, however you want people to connect with you and follow your journey.
Yes, my social media is at Gozi Beauty, Gozi Beauty, Beauty. And yeah, that's the best way on IG.
Yeah. And don't forget, y'all, The Color Purple comes out on Monday, December 25th, Christmas Day. Make sure y'all take a picture or boomerang or something of her name in the credits.
And let me know what you all think. I want it all. I want to hear everything. Let me know what y'all think.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gozi.
Thank you so much.
You're
Seriously.
welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.